You might ask, why such a dramatic title? The reason is simple. Skip Hanoi and Saigon if you plan on visiting Vietnam. The two cities are chaotic and densely populated. Traffic is ridiculously insane. There's no order. Drivers don't stop at red traffic lights, nor do they yield to pedestrians. It takes a few days to familiarize yourself to the norms, but it's just not worth it if your time is limited. Save yourself from the trouble, the hustle and bustle of the tour operators trying to sell you overpriced package tours to Halong Bay and other destinations. It's just overwhelming and unpleasant experience. That is why you should just go directly to Hoi An, which is the Hawaii of Vietnam, like my wife puts it. Hoi An is located in the central coast of Vietnam, and it's roughly about a 14-hour bus ride from Hanoi. Now, the bus ride in general is very interesting. We'll just leave it at that, and that's a whole different story. As soon as we were outside of Hanoi, everything changed. I mean, we just had a sense of freedom. The drive down south was just amazing. It was so scenic. It was just so beautiful, and we were just so thrilled once we arrived to the Hawaii of Vietnam, which is Hoi An. Now, there are a few things that give Hoi An its fame or notoriety. One, it was established as a World Heritage Site by UNESCO. The center of town was an old port city dating back to the 15th century. China Beach was made famous during the Vietnam War and often referenced in pop culture. It served as an evacuation hub during the war. Third, its proximity to Danang, 22 kilometers and way 2 hours north, which are also coastal cities. And lastly, of course, the luxury resorts that are between Hoi An and Danang. The first thing we did after checking into our hotel was hire a motorbike. I've never ridden one prior to this, but it was an automatic scooter, so I said, what the heck. It was by far the best thing we did. It really allowed us to get out of town and explore. We asked around on the things you can do nearby. They recommended my son, the heritage site, and Danang, which is all relatively nearby. It roughly takes about a half hour to 3/4 an hour, but we went pretty slow, so it all depends on how fast you drive. Riding these motorbikes really make you feel free. You don't have to worry about crazy drivers or traffic because it's pretty non-existent between this area of Danang and Hoi An. Along the way, we stopped at this particular village where fishing and making boats for other fishermen was their livelihood. They were just completely thrilled to share about their daily lives with us. Eventually, we discovered this completely empty beach. In the water, you can see local fishermen in their colorful boats at work. Next to us, it was an empty house, which happened to be a restaurant and only offered beer and seashells. Absolutely delicious. Finally, a group of locals arrived and asked us to join, and that was one of the best experiences of my trip.
Arriba.
Okay, we start. Okay. Arriba.
Arriba.
Abajo.
Abajo.
Al centro. Pa' dentro. No hay tromba.
After eating lunch and mingling with the locals, we headed to Marble Mountain. Marble Mountain is home to Buddhist and Hindu statues. Basically, it's 156 steps that lead you to the summit, and that summit represents the 5 elements, which is metal, water, wood, fire, and earth. But once you get to the top, after crawling through the caves, you arrive to the top, and the views are just magnificent. You're able to see Hoi An to one side, and the other side, Danang, and all the way in the background, you can also see Hue. But it's just beautiful to be up there and really absorb or get a sense of where you are. Well, after Marble Mountain, you can head back to Hoi An, city town, or the city center, and basically just lay back, enjoy life, because life is so slow around there. They tend to just basically let the afternoon go by because it's so hot. But at nighttime, everyone comes out and they stay out pretty late. Restaurants are open, the food is good, and the ambiance is just very vibrant. Things to do before the sunset is definitely bike down to the beach and watch the sunset. Have dinner there one night at least. And then the next day you can hang out by the river and just watch life pass you by. Usually you'll get to see local fishermen go upstream with their catch, selling it to the other little local villages around so they can sell the next morning as fresh fish. Diving tours are also available, which run about a half a day, but the purpose of this video was to highlight things you can do on your own. Overall, Hoi An is a great place to hide out and enjoy the isolated beaches of endless white sands, good local food, and experience the laid-back culture of Hoi An. This is the only town that makes me want to return to Vietnam.